Welcome to Leading Iowa, Good Government in Iowa's Cities. Taking on a new job in city government isn't always easy. In any role, there's a lot to learn and a lot to do. Listen to what Iowa's leaders say was their biggest challenge when they took office. And we've got some good advice for anyone who's thinking about running for office or working for their city. That's coming up next. Then make sure you join Dubuque Mayor Brad Cavanagh and me, Dave Martin, for full episodes right here on Leading Iowa, Good Government in Iowa's Cities.
I'm Steve Dodson, and I'm the mayor of Hiawatha, Iowa.
How long have you been mayor?
I've been mayor for about a year and a half, just over a year and a half.
Perfect.
In my first 4-year term.
What surprised you the most when you got elected to the post of mayor?
Well, according to my wife, too many meetings, too much commitment at a time. But I was on the city council for 6 years prior to running for mayor, and I was kind of groomed by our previous mayor who served 2 terms. He wanted me to become the mayor to continue Hiawatha's vision and keep the momentum going. And
so you weren't really that surprised there were too many meetings, were you?
No, I wasn't. I knew I was going to be off a couple of boards I was on.
Right.
But then other things filled in the gaps. So.
What was a pleasant surprise when you took the job as mayor?
What really surprised me and was the fact that, I have a lot of support from the community. I got out there, I knocked on over 400 doors in town to talk to people when I was running for mayor. And another thing I started was last year after becoming mayor was Coffee Talk with the Mayor. So
Coffee Talk with the Mayor.
My wife thought I was crazy, but the second Thursday of every month from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. at a local coffee shop, I got a reserved table in the back and I got a little placard, it's got my name on it, and people can come talk to me about anything. And I talk to people, not only Hiawatha residents, but people from neighboring cities and towns, even people come down from Manchester Independence on business or
so let's
visiting.
talk about your coffee talk. So if someone were to come up to you in one of your coffee talks and said, Mr. Mayor, I want to get involved in city government, I want to run for office, what would you tell them?
I said, absolutely. That's what you have to do to become involved. All you have to do is, get the petition and
well, what advice would you give them about running for office or being in office?
Well, first of all, you have to be honest, not only with others, but with yourself.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to go out and knock on doors, because you're going to have to knock on doors to get the required number of signatures to run. And it's a good way to meet your future constituents, but knocking on doors, and talking to people. And don't be afraid to let people come and talk to you.
So your advice is just go talk to people.
Absolutely.
My name is Vince Jurgena, and I am a councilman for Riverdale, Iowa.
How long have you been a city council person?
About 4 years now.
When you first came on the job, what surprised you the most?
I think one of the things that I learned very quickly is that people don't come to you when they're happy. They only really come to you when they're upset about something. And you quickly find that there are a lot of people who their issue, the thing that's bothering them, is the most important issue in the world, and why can't you see that? And one of the things I learned as a council member was that I had to kind of take a bird's eye view of all of the things going on in the city, and this person's issue is important, and this person's issue is important, and that person's issue is important, and how do I try to address those issues in a way that is fair? I don't want to ignore anybody, but at the same time, understanding that person's issue might not be the most pressing issue in the city at that point in time.
It is for them, but not necessarily for the rest of the citizens.
Exactly.
How do you tell someone, we'll deal with that, but I got to tell you, on my list of 10 problems, you're number 11.
Well, first off, you validate what that person has to say. And I hear you. I understand this. Let me tell you the rest of the picture, if I can, of what we're looking at. And I might say to them as gently as I can, you may not get that seat at the table this time around, but certainly, you're on the list and you're going to get a seat at the table at some point here, and a lot of it's just face-to-face contact, talking to people, listening to people, and realizing that, if I can do whatever I can to make life better in Riverdale for everybody, then that's what I'm going to do.
What advice would you give someone who came up to you and said, I'm thinking about being on city council? Should I do it?
I'm facing that right now. I'm running for re-election. I would say if you have a personal axe to grind and that's why you're running, that's not the best reason to run. Run because you think that you can make your city a better place. And, hopefully when you leave office, you left it better than when you came on board.
That's good advice.
Hope so.
Can that be hard to do?
Yes, it can. Like I said, people don't come to you when they're happy. They come to you when they're upset. And we're a small town. We've got about 400 people, but we've got big city issues. We have 25,000 people that come in and out of our town every day. We've got a huge aluminum rolling mill. I'm sure our mayor talked to you about that. And that's one of the bigger employers in the area. We've got a community college. We've got a big high school. And, so we're a small town, but we're not rural, I guess.
All right. But you would encourage someone to run for office?
I think that in public service, whether you're a politician or a social worker or a teacher or whatever, we need good people. We need good people to run who want to make things better for their families and by extension, their communities.
Now that you've listened to Leading Iowa, Good Government in Iowa Cities, make sure you listen to The Good Government Show, another show from Valley Park Productions. On The Good Government Show, I talk with mayors, commissioners, and leaders from across government about what works. We talk about what government means and how we can get the best out of government. So join me right here where you're listening now to The Good Government Show. That's our show. Thanks for listening. Join us again right here for the next episode of Leading Iowa, Good Government in Iowa Cities. Make sure you like us and share us with your friends. Follow us on Facebook. Leading Iowa is a Valley Park production in association with the Iowa League of Cities. The show is executive produced by Katie Wheeler and Brad Cavanagh for the Iowa League of Cities. Jim Ludlow, Dave Martin, that's me, and David Snyder are executive producers for Valley Park Productions. Our show is edited and produced by Jason Stershic.